Hey everybody, Andy here for the Andy Show. Just giving you a real quick update on what's going on. Very little change in what we're doing. We just sent that wire over, and on the last update, nothing much has changed. Some of the stocks have fallen just a little bit, but nothing drastic, nothing to really even report. So, why am I doing an update? Well, I wanted to kind of combine it with a little bit of news. The stock market will be closed from May 10th to May 23rd. So, they won't have another trading session after today or after Sunday. I believe they'll trade one more day on Sunday, and then they'll be closed for about 2 weeks. So there won't be any purchasing, there won't be any buying. If we get the funds in, I could still send a wire. Although right now I've got just over 20,000 that I'm ahead over there right now. So whatever happens, I may or may not get a wire, but they would still accept wires, of course. Now, saying all that, don't read into their being shut down. This is coming from the Supreme Health and Safety, whatever that is. And I believe this shutdown, they're going to try and quarantine for a few days to get a hold on the rise in coronavirus cases. So this is more to do with corona than it is their restructuring or anything else. Don't let others trick you into believing that this is it. Okay? Could it be? Sure. I mean, something could happen during this time that they're shut down. Just don't get too excited that this is it. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. That's not what they're doing here. Now again, I don't want people throwing a bunch of money in here to buy blocks. If you've got it and you want to, that's great. But don't allow someone, if you're listening to some of the gurus out there, don't let them get in your head and convince you that you're about to miss the train. Could you? Nobody knows. That's the thing about this. We've been in business over 9 months now, and how many times have we believed this is it, this is it, this is it? Personally, and I've talked to several people, my thinking is that all of the speculations, all of the things that they say need to happen, or once this happens, it's all guesswork. I believe with everything in me that something is going to happen, the rate will change. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this at all. But when? Not one single person out there that throws you all these this is it kind of details to you actually have a clue, because they've been wrong every time before. At some point they will be right, and that's all anybody's going to care about. But don't read into it more than is there. Okay? Just just know that one day we're just going to wake up and see that the value has changed. Nothing anybody says has to happen is true. Iraq knows what they have to do. I believe Iraq has a goal in mind, whether that's buying up, getting so much dinar off the street, or doing something over here. I think there are many, many pieces to the puzzle, many that we don't even have a clue about. I just don't believe that the stuff that's out there adequately informs us of anything. So we've just got to remain faithful that something is going to happen, and we can all hope the sooner the better, but we can't bank on it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. In other words, I'm not trying to say you don't buy blocks, or I'm not trying to sell you on the idea that you shouldn't buy blocks. You got to go with what you believe, But I don't want anybody investing in this that doesn't want to and are pushed because they feel like they're on a limited time frame. And could something happen over this next few days? Absolutely. But is there any kind of guarantee? None whatsoever. So don't put anything into this that you can't afford, okay? Please, this is, I don't know how to say it without, I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but I'm certainly not wanting to talk you into it. I don't want others to talk you into investing in it with the false narrative that something is about to happen, okay? So use that for what it's worth. But I do want to take you and give you a couple of pieces of news that's been out there recently. And there are going to be many that read into this. And I am not negative. I'm just negative on people not necessarily finding a positive, but reading into things that simply aren't there. Okay? I know that something is going to happen at some point. So I don't look at the news very often and go, "Oh, this must be it. This is what we've been waiting for." And if you like riding that roller coaster, more power to you. I'm just not. I rode that roller coaster for years, and I don't know what Iraq has up their sleeve. I don't know what Iraq is trying to do, but I also know that they're not going to stay at a program rate forever. So and that's just me. But I'm not going to allow somebody with their Dinar colored glasses and tell me that, well, see here, this and this and this equals this, so this means that it's going to happen now. This means it's going to happen Tuesday. This means it's going to happen Thursday. I don't even pay attention to any of those people anymore. If you pay attention to them, more power to you. But I try to live in the real world, and I don't listen to people who have told me far out details that just make no logical sense when it gets right down to it. And I got to tell you, I have a great nephew that's a big time economist in this country. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he travels the world and does economic forums, and he's part of setting this up and setting that up. He's a university professor, the head of economics for one was with one major university and now with another. And he scoffs at the idea that Iraq will ever do anything. Okay, so while he can't muster the idea that we went in and forced their dinar down to nothing, he just can't comprehend that, hey, they were here. Now they're here. Why can't they be here again? What would happen that would prevent them from coming back to what they were? What prevents Iraq from being the strongest economy in the Middle East? What prevents them from even being competitive in the markets? Just the natural push when they become once again available to trade on the international markets. So there's too much possibility out there for them to do their increasing to be so arrogant to think that they're going to live under a program rate forever. Again, I don't know how long. I don't know what they're going to rise to. And one of the trickiest parts is you can never get a real straight answer as to how much dinar was out there when they were worth $3.34 or whatever it may be. Okay, did they have 20 trillion, 30 trillion, 80 trillion. We don't know how much actual dinar gave them that value at that time. Okay, we go in, we push them down, give them a program rate, force them into a program rate of nothing, yet we're expecting them to stay at that nothing rate. What's the difference? Now, when they created all their new money, and since then, over the last 18 years, how much more dinar is out there than was when they were worth 3 something? How much more in resources do they have than they did at that time? How much more in reserves do they have now than they did at that time? It's just basic questions that can help give you an idea, but you can't find the real answers to anything. Supposedly there's 80 trillion. Then somebody else will say, no, there's 40 trillion. So we don't have an actual figure, at least that I'm aware of. There may be guru talk. There may be people that do commentaries or do editorial, things like this. But we don't know where they were with the amount of dinar to where they have dinar now. Okay, if they printed twice as much, do they have to pull that dinar off the market to reach a certain level? Or at least enough that the resources and the foreign currency holdings and all of that to where it comes back into a balance, to where it measures value for value. I don't know that that's all that they have to do. I mean, we just don't know. We don't know what we're waiting on. We don't know how long we're going to have to wait. But there's no doubt in my mind that at some point they are going to be much more valuable than they are now. And in the meantime, we'll keep plugging away. We'll keep buying stocks. We'll keep adding to our value now in hopes that it pays off handsomely at some point in the future. So with that said, let me get to you a little bit of news here. Okay, the headline says the Central Bank of Iraq's sales of dollars are taking a new hit. A correspondent stated that the Central Bank of Iraq witnessed during its auction for the sale of purchase of foreign currencies today a 10.78% decrease in its sales to reach $149,814,579, which the bank covered at a base exchange rate of 1,460 dinar to the dollar compared to Wednesday, which the sales reached $167,300,000. The purchases amounting to $136,514,579 went to strengthen the funds abroad in the form of transfers and appropriations, while the remaining amount of $13,300,000 went in cash. Their correspondent indicated that 31 banks have fulfilled requests to enhance assets abroad, 11 banks to fulfill cash requests, and 5 participating exchange companies. A lot of people will read in different things on this. I think anytime there is a lower demand for the dollar is a good thing, and we want them to eventually stop with exchanges for the dollar. I mean, it's never going to completely stop because the dollar is so widespread and people need the dollar, not just in Iraq, but all countries throughout the world. So what we want to see is a significant drop. And 10.78% is a pretty steep for one day. But we've also seen it where it was much less. So this is not anything to indicate that something is happening. But we always like to see less dollars in the market. Okay? I'm not great at explaining this stuff, but anytime there's less demand for the dollar, there should be more demand for the dinar. And there's a continuous decrease in the sales of the Central Bank of Iraq of dollars. A continuous decrease in the sales. That's what we want to see. They stated that the Central Bank of Iraq witnessed during its auction for the sale and purchase of foreign currencies today a decrease of 4.57% in its sales to reach 167,300,000. So this is the prior day. This was for Wednesday. So they dropped four. So from Tuesday to Thursday, they've dropped almost 15%. That's what we want to continue to see. We want to continue to see the sales demand. The next time they do this, it could be back up to 212 million. So I don't know if this is an actual trend or if this is a one-off and things go back to normal in a week or two. It's very hard to read all the signs that are out there. But oil is now over, I think it just topped $70 a barrel. So where does the surplus oil money go? Parliamentary Finance clarifies there is no supplementary budget in the Constitution. A member of the committee, Shabke, said it in a televised statement, oil prices are not stable and cannot be built upon in the financial abundance. He added the financial management law stipulates the transfer of the financial surplus from oil prices to the sovereign fund and adding it to future budgets. There's no supplementary budget in the Constitution, and the surplus funds may go to fill the fiscal deficit in locations according to the studies of the ministries of finance and planning, and a vote on it by the Council of Ministers. A member of the Finance Committee added, the government has the right to appeal the budgetary articles to which the increased amounts have been added, and it has full authority to stop these materials. And the Iraqi Ministry of Oil announced that all oil revenues have increased from $1 billion to $6 billion per month. While it renewed its commitment to the decisions of the OPEC organization, Iraq is keen to abide by the OPEC Plus agreement to reduce production and work to restore balance to the oil market, which has been subjected to a major jolt due to the repercussions of the spread of the coronavirus, which led to a recession in the global economy. Sim Jihad told them in a press statement. And he stated, Iraq aims to increase the financial value of its exported oil and to adhere to the quote set by OPEC until the reasons leading to this are clarified, which require a collective decision and commitment from the producers of OPEC and OPEC Plus. And this is what led to its success in absorbing a large part of the surplus. Oil in global markets. This commitment led to an increase in the price of a barrel of oil from less than $10 a month ago to more than $65 at the present time, which is now over $70. And Iraq's revenues increased from $1 billion to $5 to $6 billion a month. This is fantastic for Iraq. What this is stating is that they are getting 500 to 600% over what they were just months ago. So they are enjoying a massive surplus at this moment. And how they distribute that, what they do with it, it can be used for budgetary items, or it can be used for debt. It can be used for a number of things. Whatever it is, I guess, has to be approved, which is natural. But they are having such a massive influx of money right now. And that is a great thing for Iraq. Do they stockpile this and allow themselves to make sure so that when oil prices go in the tank at some point in the future, that they can ride that slow or low oil production. So right now they're making 1 to 5 billion extra per month. If they can keep part of that back, so that in months or a year or two from now, they've budgeted for a billion a month from oil, when they're only making 250 million or 500 million, put enough of it back to cover, take part of that and pay their debts off. Do they find that they don't need all of the loans that they were trying to take out and have taken out? How responsible will they be with this massive influx of more cash? We got to wait it out and see, folks, but this is great news for that country, which in turn is going to be good news for us at some point. So that's basically what you have in a nutshell, and it's going to get quiet here for some time because the ISX is not going to be operating again until May 23rd, I believe. So we have no control over it, but there's not going to be a lot to report for our group, for Woolard Enterprises, until we send another wire anyway. So we'll update you as soon as we can. Just don't expect an update for quite some time. And with that, I will bid you all a farewell. Have a great, great weekend. And I will talk to you soon. God bless you all. And I will bring anything that comes out to you as quickly as I can.